Okay, now we are actually
Almond.
doing it.
Yeah, but why would you add almonds to Honey Nut Cheerios?
How's it going, guys?
Because it's called Honey Nut
How's it going,
Cheerio.
guys?
Nut.
Welcome
I will have
back,
to ponder on this.
It's going.
and welcome back to the Weekly Recap Show. We are actually here.
Michael, I know you're new to this, but we usually don't acknowledge him while he's trying to do
We
this.
are.
I am
We
aware.
are now
I've
here.
been here
We're
before.
back.
I'm not new, actually.
This week we are going to go over all the things that we've completely not done a weekly recap over for the past month and a half.
All of the things.
We've got Jacob as usual, our DM. We've got Abby who plays Thea.
Almonds aren't even a nut, though. They're
She's
seeds.
back again. We've got Michael who plays Braun. We've got Zach who has been upgraded. I don't know if he's noticed it yet.
Oh, do I have a title now? Hey!
I upgraded Zach to a host. I was gonna make him the question master, and then Jacob said that would be stupid, so I was like,
That's
fine.
super
I
nerdy.
think that'd be funny.
I think it would be funny.
It's the theme.
Yeah, Jacob.
I mean,
I'm
it's
doing
up
it
to
next
you
time.
guys. Do what you want.
All right,
I just-
let's get in.
Can I just have like a rotating title like every week? It's
Yeah.
a different.
That would add a lot of work for Caleb, so I'm down for it.
It's not that much work. I just have to type in a new name. All right.
Yep, you have to be creative.
Okay, we're gonna
It's
jump.
got to be
into
different
this.
every week.
This is our weekly recap. That is technically a
missed this.
monthly recap. We are going to be going over the tournament that we just did, our finale for Chapter 1. We're finally done with Chapter 1. Not in the way of finally it dragged, but finally as in we've been talking about it for a long time, and we are there now. We're moving into Chapter 2 in the next 2 weeks. We're currently working on all of our things to do that.
Wouldn't it be 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we're taking, so this weekend we're going to be doing a one-shot. Next weekend I'm going to be gone, and we're going to be doing a one-shot. And then the next weekend we'll be back starting Chapter 2. It gives us enough time to edit what we need to edit, and Jacob to plan what he needs to plan, and all of our characters to kind of have some time to reevaluate themselves, because a lot of things happened, as we're going to get into for this weekly recap. So, going ahead and jumping into it, after we talk about what happened, we're going to have Zach have a couple questions for us. And this week we have 5 people on instead of 4, and we're going to have a conversation kind of about what we kind of saw at the end, with some of the stories that we may want to look forward to in Chapter 2 that we didn't get to fully explore in Chapter 1. Abby, I totally just saw that. And then... also, look at maybe
I'm done.
ask Jacob some questions on what he has planned for us. So, getting into our recap, where we left off last time, we had talked about the ability check. So the very first part of the tournament, when we arrived in Onoa, we had to go over ability check competition, and then after that, we started jumping into the 3 versus 3 fights. Nothing too...
Which took much longer than we thought it would.
Yes, it did. We had one episode we did in person, and that was just fun. We messed around. We didn't get as much done, but we don't care because it was a fun time to see everyone, because we've all moved to different places, and of course Corona has kept us kind of sticking away from each other as much as possible. But we did follow our state's guidelines, and we made sure that all of us were healthy, and it's been a month and none of us got Corona, so that's all good. Yeah, we all played in person. We did the 3 versus 3 battles. And the 3 versus 3 battles, basically, it was me, Braun, and, or I should say Animus Braun, and Anzu versus Thea, Zygon, and Lochnar. Those were the 3 teams, or the 3 people teams. Both teams had to go through basically a whole category of different teams they fought before reaching the final. Thea's team struggled a little bit more than our team did in some of the fights.
Listen, we were the underdog, and we did really good. Shut up.
Basically what happened was my team went in with a plan of picking off characters, and they just went in and were like, fuck yeah. But we all made it to the final.
We still made it
Yeah,
so far.
You're not
with
wrong.
that attitude.
We all
Imagine if we had planned.
I'd
It'd be over for y'all.
frightened. You're right. I would be frightened. So we all went against different teams. There wasn't too much story through this. I'll just kind of jump over it. We did meet each other in the final, and the team who won was Animus, Braun, and Anzu. It was a close one. If they had taken out Anzu right away, which almost happened, then it could have made a difference. Braun just does so much damage, though, as a rogue. It's really... A swashbuckler rogue is a really solid class to be.
It's almost as if they released it without playtesting it properly.
It's almost as if they released Ranger without realizing it was the most shit class ever created.
Shots fired, Rangers.
Yeah. After the 3 vs 3s, then we get into a little bit of story. So the 3 vs 3s took 3 episodes. It took us 3 weeks to get through those because we were having fun. We were just...
That's with like a 7-hour session.
Battles
too.
take a while, yeah. We ended that 2 weeks ago, and there was a little bit of story. Lochnar had some stuff happen to him. He talked to another Goliath that had been part of his old tribe, and she had told him that his dad was coming in with the tribe, and his dad wanted to speak with him. And so that kind of got Lochnar a little scared, told the rest of the group, like, hey, we're screwed if we stay here. For us, we wanted to go into the next battle, but we also knew if this was so serious for Lochnar to be finally coming to us about something, then maybe we should listen to him. We had a long conversation with Lochnar. Animus went and talked to Goldfleece, who I thought was Goldfleece. We'll get into that. And discussed a way of getting out of the tournament if we needed to, and brought that information back to Lochnar, assured him that his dad and the tribe were a mile out, and they were not able to get into the area. After we had talked about all this as a group, Lochnar ended up leaving and going to try to talk to his dad, only to be stopped when he reached the camp of the Goliaths. He was stopped by the same woman. What was her name? Lokag. She stopped him and she said, hey, I told you that so you could get away. You weren't supposed to come here. That was a big part for him because now he realizes his dad actually is out to get him instead of what we had all told him, like, oh, your dad's probably just here to talk to you. After coming back and talking to us again, we assured him we could get through the battle and get out of there before his dad was able to ever talk to him. So we went into the 6 vs 6 battles. Because of certain situations, Jacob shortened it down a little bit for us, and then also just story-wise, some of the teams left either because they had been beaten badly in the 3 vs 3s, or they didn't sign up for the 6 vs 6 fights. So we only had one fight in the 6 vs 6. We went against Lokeg's team, and she said she was going to throw. She told that only to Lochnar. We all went out there and smashed some heads off, as what I believe was my saying for that fight. Smacked some heads off. It was a fun time to see all of us fight again against a very equally strong group. And then after that, we won the tournament. We won the 6v6, and Lochnar looks up in the crowd and his dad's there watching us, so we knew we had to get out of there. And then all of a sudden we were brought into a room under the Coliseum we were fighting in by what we thought was Goldfleece, and he revealed to us he was not Goldfleece, and he was taking us to the real one. We were taken to the real Goldfleece. He was a sphinx, a male sphinx, Andros Sphinx.
Yeah, Caleb, jeez.
Man, I'm so...
a female sphinx is a gynosphinx.
Yes.
Mm.
And so we talked to him. It was a very cool conversation. Probably one of my favorite parts. It was honestly a great way to end. I think everyone would say that was a really fun way to end it. It was a really cool conversation.
Yeah.
He had foresight. He was pretty much talking to everyone about how there was a lot of things that was happening in the future that we needed to be looking out for. And stop. And
Hi, Kimmy.
just walked in to grab
Kimmy.
something, just completely took my concentration there. But we
You failed under concentration check.
Damn it, Jacob, beat me to it.
so
It's a natty
basically
one,
some of
baby.
we'll talk about this. Some of the biggest stuff that we talked about that he told us about in his foresight was that Number one, our group was included in almost every future he saw in some major way.
Good and bad.
Relating to.
Good and bad, yes. Number two, I think it was that Abby had seen someone burning down Singorn, and she originally thought it was Zygon. It was not
Because
Zygon.
it looked like Zygon. I didn't just pull this out of my ass.
It was not Zygon.
Yeah, dude in a black cloak, eye patch,
Also,
whole shebang.
There are spells to make people look like certain people, so you could have seen someone who was disguised as Zygon. And then also,
I mean, that's fine, but at the time, that was not my first
that's
instinct.
true. You're right. It was a big win for Brady, though. He had a lot of fun with that.
He felt so vindicated.
Yeah.
To go along with that, I
Yeah.
asked Animus asked the Sphinx if one of the questions he had been wondering for a while was true, that Zygon was the person they needed to be looking out for in the group, and it wasn't Zygon, it was Animus. So that made a lot
We all heard that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone heard. I was being quiet, but it was more because of a different reason. Like I wasn't really supposed to talk about it in person. The situation that he had been in. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But going along with that, so Zygon was just wiped clean. He used to be a cleric. He doesn't have his memories, and he's being controlled by a demon. And none of these visions that we're having about Zygon being evil are true as of right now to our eyes. So he's coming out a little cleaner than we all had thought this entire chapter. I don't. What was some of the other stuff? Oh, he gave us a globe. We'll get back into the foresight stuff. We'll have Jacob talk about that. But he gave us basically our winning turn for the tournament. Was
I believe it was called a globestone.
Yes, a globestone.
Yes.
It broke off into 7 pieces: 1 core piece, 6 round pieces, where you could teleport to any of the pieces as long as the core of the globestone was on the plane you were trying to teleport on. I don't know how many people can teleport with a piece. I don't know if Jacob specified that.
Oh, I know.
Did you specify?
It's only one.
Okay,
it's
so
only one.
One person can use one to teleport. Okay.
Yeah.
That would make it.
You can also plant them. Like you can put them inside things, and you can teleport to those things. They don't have to be held by another person.
I might just put mine inside my staff.
What if you lose your staff?
That'd be unfortunate. But I would also lose my focus, which is how I cast all my spells. So something would have to happen. That's it for the recap, though. That is how we ended it. Was we got the globestone and we had some stuff told to us about the future, and now we can get into some conversation about that episode.
And the episodes prior.
Yes, and prior episodes.
These have been exciting episodes.
You completely glossed over the fact that Zygon almost died.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Let me say that real quick.
Yeah, and super cool sword, and
yeah,
a guy obsessing over Braun.
Wall Lochnar.
Thea having a vision of Lochnar's past.
Well, I was gonna get into that. That was a separate thing.
Thea finding out that there is a secret village where she could find out what happened to her mother.
Once
also.
again, things that I was gonna say the foresight stuff.
But Animus might be a bad guy, guys.
Wait, we should watch out for Animus.
I told you I didn't know the foresight
No other
stuff.
information.
I said we were going to talk about the foresight stuff because I don't remember it all. I did gloss over.
Yeah.
Zygon almost died because Lochnar had been doing the thing with his dad, so we had come out of the 3v3 tournament. Zygon followed this guy who had been kind of watching them the whole time.
Specifically watching Braun.
Yes, watching Braun. When he caught up to him, he verified that the guy had a very distinct interest in Braun. He also had a magical sword. As Zygon tried to continuously follow him, he turned around and with one hit brought Brady's character down to 0 hit points, and he was able to roll enough saving throws to stabilize and eventually get back up and walk back.
I mean, that is
from a fucking alley.
It was almost it was our second closest death that we've seen in the campaign so far, and we're only in the first chapter, so it was a really cool time.
So now the party is adopting a buddy system.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I don't remember all the foresights. I want to get into those, but I guess let's just go ahead and get into the foresights first. Sorry, Zach.
But first, actually, I want to ask Jacob a question.
Okay.
Had Zygon failed his saves,
He'd die.
he would die. Okay.
Yeah, he'd be dead.
And it'd just be that's it.
Then
Yeah,
now-
they
They're
would have
dead.
had to find him in the alley and then resurrect him. Like, yeah, he would have been dead.
I don't even. Do I have? I think I have access to that.
I think
spell.
you do at this point. Yeah,
I have access to
Mhm.
something of the kind. It would resurrect him, but he could be a different species.
you'd
Yeah, I think.
reincarnation.
Which
Oh
is
yeah,
so
I
funny.
think I have a 6th level spell now, so I must be there. I'm gonna look.
All right, so
He's
I
gonna be
should-
really upset if it's
But-
not a poll.
Yeah, we do. We are using Matt Mercer's resurrection rules though. So
It gets harder every
Oh.
time you do it.
and it
Fun.
also you have to do you basically
Skill
have to do like
challenges?
skill challenges. Yeah. Basically trying to keep the person from passing through the veil between life and death.
like
I could
that.
turn him into a zombie for
That's
sure.
a good way to do it, just so that we're not just running around trying to do stupid things.
Well,
and dying.
it's basically not like you're playing like Final Fantasy or something where you just pop a phoenix down and
Yeah,
I can do
Keep going.
Heroes Feast now.
I
Ooh.
can too.
Heroes Feast is fun.
Us
We should go
healers.
chalice shopping.
It costs a lot of money though.
Us healers.
Oh, we have-
Shut up.
Money. I've been a healer. Are you saying that you're not a healer and I am the healer?
That's exactly. What I'm saying.
But guys, so yeah, Zygon would have died. Plain
That's
simple.
Seriously, it's so insane.
There's repercussions to going off alone against a dude that you have no idea who he is, and he clearly is somebody. Yeah, he could have easily
we, need
died.
to, we
Man,
need to have a Flagon Slayers meeting, and I'm gonna bring up the buddy
the
system.
buddies.
Plus, if that guy had decided like I'm going to kill Zygon to make an example, he'd be
Yeah.
dead.
All right, let's
like-
get into. Sorry, Jacob.
That character does not want to kill anyone unless they deserve it, and Zygon was just being a pest, so he let fate decide.
That makes sense. Let's get into the foresight real quick, just so we can talk about. I literally only wrote down things that either the group heard as a whole, that was like for the group, or things for Animus himself. Just because that's how I keep my journal, and that's the only stuff that I remember. Other than that, though, I don't fully remember all the conversation we had for the foresight one.
I don't remember a ton.
Well, okay, let's go.
Um,
What was everything that
so-
happened to Thea? Let's talk.
Well, I can help you guys out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was revealed who the 5 that are watching you is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I took notes about all that, but like
Mhm.
just the weird individual questions everyone decided to throw at the
Yeah.
Sphinx. I was like, this is rude, first of all.
Anzu asked the Sphinx if Velshanar is still alive, and the Sphinx says that he doesn't know, but that he went to the Shadowfell
I wrote that
roughly
down
40 years ago.
right before I was born.
Yeah, you guys have actually. Well, I'll let you figure that out.
LOL.
But let's see. Anything else? I don't know if did Braun ask any. I don't remember if he did.
I had a question, but I didn't want the group present for the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was revealed that if you guys would have stayed in the ring or somehow gone to see Blitznar, he would have killed Lochnar. Let's see, anything else besides your personal stuff?
I mean, the personal stuff would be that Zygon asked about the poll. We had a long conversation about the 5. We have a list of where they are. Basically, the first one that we're gonna go to is the one where Zygon's wife is actually heading to right now. The Platinum Dragon's temple in Vasselheim. That is where we're gonna talk to. I think he's a priest there. That we're going to talk to about information about the first. I think the
dragon that
dragon.
is watching you guys. Yeah.
The other 4 are the vampire wannabe, the vampire lord wannabe, who we don't know where they are. are or what they're doing. I don't think. I
believe you do know where they
Yeah.
are.
we don't know where two of them are. The human, we don't know where he or she is, and the beholder
The
is
demon, you don't know where is either.
the demon. We don't know where he is, but we know that she is
She.
becoming government
Impersonating-
officials.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we had an idea that it was Vesper.
Yeah. Vesper
You
could
said
have been
around
one.
Western, like
Yeah.
that area.
The vampire is around Western, yes.
Ah, god damn it. Why do I keep getting them confused?
And then the beholder is in Amon.
Is the new head of the
class
class.
leader. And that
Yeah.
one we might leave for now because we know where he is and we know where he's carrying out all this stuff. The other ones would be a little bit more important on we need to find
And
them.
the dragon you don't know for sure where it is, but the priest in Amon might.
Yes, the priest Amon.
Or not in Amon,
Master-
in Vasselheim.
Master Cartris.
Mhm.
And then the human's the only one we really don't know. The vampire lord's in Western somewhere, beholder's in Amon, and the demon is impersonating government officials. The biggest thing that we need to know is as soon as we move on one of them, they all know, because they all work as a group of force.
Or a network.
And we don't know how they work yet, but that was our biggest thing that we learned from the foresight. Was there anything else foresight that we need to talk about?
Oh, that there's a hidden Wood Elf village.
Oh yeah, Abby, you can talk about that real quick.
Yeah, so after we were done berating the Sphinx with a lot of questions, I mean, it was mostly out of excitement, but Theo was like, we shouldn't be doing this. He's an ancient being. Why are we, like,
Five.
just throwing everything at him, just being like, ooh, blah, like, what am I
Well-
was just like, why are we, like, 6 years old?
Well, to be fair,
What?
Abby, he would have already known the questions you were going to ask.
I mean, that's fair. I'm just saying, like, I was like, we could have, been a little more respectful about it. So Theo was like, okay,
knows
now
you
that we're
guys.
done now. And she was just, I just wanted to ask, I wasn't like, where is or like, what killed my mom? But she was like, she asked it where she could find information. Because at this point, I feel like she's like kind of tried here and there to like figure out like where she could find information and like no, like just has no way of like figuring it out. Like books don't tell her anything. There's no people know anything as far as she knows. And it's just like, oh, it's a fucking mystery. And so she was just like, even just like a lead would be nice. And that's what he gave her. He was like, there's a wood elf village outside of Vasselheim that's like ancient and like the oldest wood elf village in Exandria or something. I don't know. And then he was like, they might know. But he was like, I don't know if they do, but maybe. Basically.
In the Vesper Timberland.
Yep.
That is where we're heading next. For you guys who don't know, we're heading out to Vasselheim in the Vesper Timberland. Do we have any other foresights that anyone wants to talk about that they can remember? I don't think anyone else. I know that Lochnar was a newt the whole time, so he couldn't ask any questions.
Because he was threatening to kill everything.
Yes, he was very upset about his father
Yeah.
being there, so I believe
He does do that.
one of you guys
Anzu.
polymorphed him. Yep, Anzu polymorphed him into a newt.
Anzu.
Classic
Yeah.
Anzu. All right, let's go ahead and
I
jump
need to get-
into some questions from Zach.
All
Our
right.
new christened host.
Our new actually christened host.
Actually, I have a
Question master.
The question.
No.
Yep.
I think
it.
it's funny.
I like
I
it.
like
I think it's great.
All right, Jacob.
Mm.
So there was a lot of characters
Oh yeah, a
In the-
lot.
in the tournament.
There was over 40. I made over 48.
So
Oh
did you
my god.
make like character sheets and all that for all of them?
Yeah.
Or I guess okay.
For the ones that I knew they were going to fight, I made character sheets for.
How long did that take you?
Hours. Yeah, it turns out there's not a lot of good, like, quick character generators on the internet, so I would get, like, templates, and then I would build them. Some of them, I went, like, the elves from Sangorn, I was like, I do not care about these guys, so I made 2 of them, and then I was like, one of them was Thea's bully. That's fun.
God damn it.
And then the kobolds, they will make a reappearance because I loved them.
They apparently have something special about them too, and we just never.
Yeah,
figured
there's
it out.
something weird about them. The goblins, they're just funny. I just love goblins. They're just stupid. And, Locag's group will show up again. Hopefully, I want to flesh them or get them more built out. Let's see. There's a few groups that I made that never really showed up. The Slayer's Take group is probably my greatest disappointment, because they got utterly wrecked.
Yes.
Whoops.
And they're supposed to be like veterans, like they've been doing it for
Rip
decades.
Felix.
I mean, at the same time, though, you said they came
They're
more
also
they came more to have fun with each other, not to actually win.
Yeah, it was essentially like most of them were retiring from adventuring afterwards. So the reason Felix mentions that they had to get Rosella to come because they needed a sixth, and that's because the friend who was their magic user had died shortly before the tournament.
Oh no.
So they had to get Rosella to come in and fill his slot.
Do we not know?
And
who
she
it
did a
is?
pretty good job. Huh? Do you
She
guys
whooped
know it?
my ass for
No,
sure.
you never met this person. They were a mage.
I had some good talks
in,
with Felix.
They were in oh man, what's the city south of Western? Kaimal.
Yeah.
Mm.
That
Yeah,
place.
they were from Kaimal. So
Rosella was the one using the wild magic, right?
yeah, she's the wild magic sorceress who is
Yeah.
really into you for some reason.
That was fun.
Yeah,
She's
some
blue
reason.
now.
Yeah, she's blue
Yeah,
now.
she is blue now. Yeah, she is blue now. She's now a blue tiefling. So
Maybe that's what I'll play for your one shot, Caleb. I feel like that'd just be a fun time.
wild magic is really fun. So in
Yeah.
the book, I'll explain wild
absolute
magic real
chaos.
quick. So in the book, you're only supposed to roll wild magic when they roll a natural 20 on anything. That to me is boring and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I do it. Their magic is just unstable. So when they cast magic, there's a side effect, and some are worse than others. Like one, if you roll, so there's a table of 100 different options, and you roll percentage dice. So one of them, you turn into a potted plant for I think it's like a
I
day.
know I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun for me.
But your stats, your intelligence, everything, you just become a potted plant. So you could easily be killed.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, most of the groups, I just had them in case like I needed filler characters. And I was hoping like I just wish the fights wouldn't have taken so long because I was wanting to build the city out more.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll be back.
yeah.
We'll be back to.
yeah, you guys will be back.
The
Yeah.
Gold Fleece is there, so we have to come back to. He's now one of our allies, and he'll need us at some point for something. So.
But yeah, I made 12 teams, each with 6 people on them. So
Ridiculous.
Crazy.
yeah, and I rolled for them, and multiple groups failed because I rolled poorly.
Now you got some cool new dice to roll for them, right?
It's true. I got a Christmas present from
Hey.
Michael. Ask the next question, and we'll see if I can go get them.
All right. I guess since we have a bunch of the players here with us, can we get some kind of overall thoughts on the tournament itself? Maybe some things you liked, things you didn't.
Jacob's gone. We can talk about anything.
Yes.
I hate it.
Jacob sucks, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Are you
I'm
just
shook
asking
that
us
he
in
made
general?
40 characters.
Yeah, I
That's
guess in
insane.
general,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to explore a little bit more of it, to, I guess, kind of banter with the other teams a little bit, but overall, it was still just a fun little change of pace from the normal stuff that we go through, and not having to really worry about death or not, and just enjoy the competitive nature of it.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing about it, like, especially like thinking about it from like Thea's perspective, is like she'd been like looking for a way for a while to like prove herself to everybody else, because like I don't know, I just feel like everybody on the team has like a really like has a strength of some sort, And like in theory, like healing could be hers, but like she doesn't really want to do that unless she has to. Let's be real. And so I think like this was her opportunity to like prove that like the strengths she has to everybody else, even though like all of those bases are kind of covered by some people. Like a lot of the things she can do, like like obviously Braun is the rogue, even though she has like one level and like rogue, and so like she tries, but she's not as good. And then like she can do some good spells, but like obviously like Anzu's gonna kick somebody's ass with like chain lightning or whatever the fuck, and then Animus has a bunch of big druid spells, and then Zygon can do whatever Zygon does.
But she's very versatile.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
You lasted in every fight. You were the one who outlasted every single fight.
Except for Zygon when he 1v3'd.
Yeah.
That's true.
Except for that one with Zygon. But like this was her chance to like prove herself to everybody else, and I think like she accomplished that, and also used it as like a way to like bond with like especially Zygon and Lochnar, who she like has a tough time bonding with, I think.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how the dynamic changes now that you know that Zygon is not necessarily the bad guy.
And it's like it's something that we kind of got into too, because Zygon originally like no one really trusts him that much, and I kind of tried to keep him more like on our side at the very beginning, way back. And then once we started learning more about him, about like how he's lost his memory and all this stuff, like it was easier for us to kind of see him as like, okay, maybe he's not that bad. And then now coming to the end of the chapter 1, like we've learned so much about him that he's becoming more trustworthy as a character. And I think we've also grown a lot within this tournament. We've grown a lot as a group. Where I think we're able to fight a lot better. There's no one in our group that we really can't trust, even though things may have built out against Animus. I mean, his sole purpose and story still runs with the group, and there's no reason for him to ever go against them at this point in time. Whatever is going to happen to him in the future, I don't know. But I think my favorite part of the tournament was the fact that we just were able to grow as a group, even though it was just like 6 straight episodes of doing fighting. I think it was also good for us because coming into the Christmas season, it's a little bit harder to stay on track, especially if Jacob were to have to continuously writing story over and over again. We know he's very capable of doing that, but it's definitely easier for him to be able to kind of sit down and just be able to know that every week he's going back into, I'm just going to be rolling dice and battling against other characters.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine making 12 groups of 6 was not
I mean,
a
but
lot
you made
work,
those
you know?
before the tournament, and so...
Not true. I made most of them after the prelims.
Oh wow, okay. So, but still, for you, we had to set what we were doing for the end for our finale of chapter 1. We were all ready for it. It was a good time. I think I'm with Michael. I wish we had done a little bit more in Onoa, but we had a lot of battling going on, and no one really wanted to like.
And honestly, if Lochnar's dad had not showed up, then you guys probably would have just been like chilling.
Yeah.
That's also kind of a fun thing. So the reason that Lochnar's dad shows up is because Lokag was there, and if she had not entered, or if Lochnar had not competed, then he would have never shown up. So there's a lot of moving parts, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So real quick, Michael got me Matt Mercer's Critical Role dice for Christmas.
Ooh,
and so the D20, cool. Which I have rolled probably 6 times, and the lowest roll has been a 15.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
We're screwed. We're so
Get it
screwed.
out now.
Yeah.
It's all
So
over.
now I've got new punishment dice.
No.
And it comes with a cool bag, and like, look, it's got the Vox Machina logo on it.
I've been like really wanting to get some of these dice, but like I don't know which ones. Maybe
But
all of them, but
we'll know you know all of them, Abby.
okay.
So next question.
I'm out of questions.
All right, this is our discussion time.
Heyo.
Okay,
Right.
so my big is like Thea getting to see Locknar's past.
Mm-hmm.
Is she like, because her past is kind of similar in a weird way.
Daddy.
I
So do
also
you think
killed my brother.
do you think that she's gonna try and build more of a bond with him, or what? How's that
Oh
gonna
yeah.
develop? Do you think?
Oh, I mean, definitely. Cause like, my throat just did that weird thing where it makes a noise. Sorry, I'm
Throats
having a
tend to do
time.
that.
Yeah, where it goes like, like just real small, but loud enough for the
Oh,
other
man.
person in the room to hear. That was
That's a Cards
gross.
Against Humanity card right there.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I think like she's looking for like reasons to stay with the group. Cause like I mean, up until now, like obviously it takes time and like we're all working on it and like in our role play and stuff, but like she has no real like reason to stay with everybody except that Anzu is now her uncle, technically. So like obviously she wants to explore that, but I like want to build like friendships and genuine like connections with all the characters, and like have her like I want her to like if something were to happen to everybody, like I want her to like have like a feeling about it instead of just being like, oh well, there goes another one, or like just something. And like that's something they can bond over, their whole like their daddy issues. It's great.
Most of you have that. It's
I don't
kind of
know.
weird.
I don't.
This is true.
I don't think I do.
Oh,
at
yeah.
least. I don't think I do.
I don't think you do either.
That's next, Caleb. But yeah, no, I think like where like Anzu is just like kind of an old fart and like can teach her some things and tell her about like her aunt and like her past, and she can like go to him to talk to him if she needs to, and like that's cool. Braun can teach her like how to fight and stuff like that. But like Lochnar, I feel like she can have fun with him in a way that she can't with everybody else. Like she's not gonna go like I mean, I don't know. I think like they can go have a beer and get drunk and buy 1,000 gold bottle of blood wine and do whatever the fuck, wander around the city and get into fights. And but they can also like connect on a deeper level a little bit, because they've had like a little bit of struggle, in terms of like family and feeling like valued, I guess. And I think that's like a nice thing that she wants to like talk to another person about, even if like Lochner's not going to give all of his feelings because he's Lochnar. Like he still kind of gets it.
Yeah,
You know.
I think
And it was fun.
Thea, I think has found more of a reason to stay with the group than like originally, just with everything that's happening. I mean, with everything you just explained. Also, at this moment, like she was from Sengor and didn't do anything there for the most part, ran away, and then whenever you found like this strong group, or not strong at the time, but a group of adventurers who could get you to a point where like maybe you can find out what happened to your mom, because we're now like we've found out like all of us are in some sort of future together that has some sort of major effect on the world that we're in, and we're obviously strong enough to beat almost everything we've fought in Taldore, whether it be lower level for us at this moment, and not be the hardest things we fought yet. I think Animus is in a similar situation, coming into just becoming a druid out of the Shadowfell and just being picked up from where he was, and then like realizing like he can't just sit around in their village. He has to get out there, and finding like a group of people was the best thing for him at the time, and now it's become a lot more relevant in the fact that like staying with the Flagon Slayers is the best way to keep going. So
I agree.
I'm interested to see how Animus will deal with the fact that like all of these people are telling him he's evil, or that he's involved in some way in evil things.
It's gonna be depending on what happened, because like The thing is, like, I want to play my character to how he would be played, and so depending on how whatever happened to my memories, whether they were taken away or if I'm given memories back, or something like that happens, then I'm gonna play along with that and not derive from a situation, and we'll just see what happens. I mean, for the most part, I'd hope to stay good and stay a Flagon Slayer, so. I'll probably try to play that out in any way possible, but sometimes stories go a different way. And I mean, that's the same thing for at least 3 of our group. Like, if something were to happen, I'm pretty sure that Lochnar or Zygon both are 2 of the other characters that they would play to their story specifically that could end up creating them a little bit of space between the groups. So, definitely stuff to look forward to in chapter 2. We'll see what happens. At the moment,
Yeah.
trying to be a good guy, trying to get there.
I don't know. I'm just interested because I know what's coming.
I don't. That doesn't help. That doesn't help me give you an answer.
So it's just
Makes me so uneasy.
Yeah, what I will say is that, like,
no, I don't want to hear it.
It's gonna get darker.
No.
Like, the story in general is going to get
don't make me
darker.
I'm already
like
Lord, you know.
I can't wait.
I really want one of you to die. Like, really bad.
Jacob,
and it's not.
I don't have a backup character.
It's not because it's like, man, these guys suck. Like, they counterspell all my stuff. It's story. I want the group to have to go through and realize, like, they could die.
We're not invisible.
You guys could die, and it's like, that's something that I think adventuring parties never really, like, get into, where it's like, you guys are fighting literal monsters. Like, you fight stuff that breathes fire or can, like, rip your insides and make them your outsides. Like, like, you guys face things that most people, if they even saw, would lose their minds. So there's, like, and most groups are just like, yeah, we killed a dragon, and now we're killing a demon, and now we're gonna go fight God, and it's like, yeah, but, like, what are you guys doing, you know? And,
like, how do we feel about that? Like,
exactly.
You gotta have some kind of reaction to it, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly, and, like, that's why I kind of liked Zygon almost dying alone in an alley with no one knew he was there. And, like, I'm sure if he would have failed saving throws, at least one of you would said, well, I want to go look for Zygon, and I would say, why? You don't know where he is.
Yeah. Braun got dangerously close to that too, fighting that water elemental in the street.
Yeah.
If that had lasted one more round, he would have at least been knocked unconscious, and who knows after that what could have or would have happened.
We definitely
and, like, Braun is also an interesting case because he kind of lives for fighting at this point.
And he needed to have that happen to him basically after the incident with the dragon, because he felt so useless and vulnerable, which is obviously like, normally he's much more confident.
Normally he's murdering people.
Well, yeah. So yeah, it was just a big, like, kind of a shock to him, to be sure, but also solidified his hope for the group, basically, you know, knowing that he needs them to move on just as much as they need him, and wanting to stick with them because to grow stronger and keep doing better, he needs them.
That's also why I liked separating you guys for the majority of this.
Yeah.
Because it felt like you guys had to rely on each other more. And, like, because right now Anzu and Braun are the heavy hitters for the most part. So I think, like, Thea especially had to see, like, what is it like when I fight with this dude who has 5 brain cells and this dude who may or may not be a literal demon. So I think it was interesting there. And what I will say, just to kind of end you guys off, because I think we're about to close out here.
Yeah.
And this will kind of lead into chapter 2.
Oh man, this is what we were waiting for.
What I will say is that someone that you know that is very close to all of you is not who they say they are.
Fuck.
They are there for one reason, and that is to do some nefarious things.
That could be so many people.
It's one of the people in our guild, and I know it.
It could be so many though. It could be Mathis. He was really close to us and helped us get into Amon in the first place, and he's also a government character. It could be Vesper, who was our first person that was ever in our group, and we all got pretty close to.
It's Oscar.
No, not Oscar.
I thought about doing the rug pull where I was like, Oscar is actually like a million years old demigod who I thought about it, but then I was like, nah, he's just a chef. He's just a fun little cat.
You wouldn't have done it to Oscar either. He was one of your first
He's my baby. I love him.
He was your first
he is my favorite MVP. I love him so much.
Bring him back.
He's in Whitestone.
Pre-stream. We need to get... No, we don't need to go to Whitestone. I don't want to go to Whitestone.
That's
right now.
the other side of the continent.
So hey, Jacob, I just want to let you know I have a spell called Transport via Plants.
Cool.
And
you have
we can
you
do
have
that
in
now?
the country.
Yep, I can literally travel
Are you
to any plant I've ever seen with the touch of a plant.
But it has to be big enough to get you through.
Yeah, everyone can go with me as long as you make it through in 6 seconds or 12 seconds.
6.
I think it's
It's 6.
Oh yeah,
oh
6
my
seconds.
gosh.
We'd all.
Caleb,
you literally have to run.
You should make Animus talk to the Sun Tree, and then Jacob will have to
Gotta do a
be
Matthew
the Sun Tree.
McConaughey
Yeah,
impression.
you'll have to reprise Matthew Mercer's Sun Tree.
I would love to do that. I can do burned out surfer dude. Yeah, but
definitely.
Whew, I'm so looking forward to this because it's gonna get much darker. It's gonna get insane.
We know that stuff's coming. We've known there's people that we can't trust, but we just don't know who they are yet. And that's something we've all been like looking to figure out and looking to just have fun with. But
I'm excited for some real struggle.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's not.
Yeah, your fights are. I have to restructure fights now because I know, and also so like, because I saw some people were like, well, what if Jacob starts metagaming so that the group doesn't do as well? From a story perspective, you guys just fought in a major tournament where hundreds, possibly even thousands of people saw you fight.
Yeah.
And you won twice. So that, and you placed second in seeding. You placed first in 3 of the events. Like, people know who you are.
Right.
So they're gonna know how you fight, especially the clasp. Like if you guys ever decide to fight the Beholder, he's gonna know almost everything about you.
Oh well. Well, I mean, see, the thing is, like, I know our fights were getting harder, and that's why, like, a few months ago, I literally, like, I had a conversation with Abby, and I think, like, a couple of you guys about how I was, like, I'm changing over to a full support character for the most part. Like,
yeah.
Being full support, I've added a ton of healing spells into my list. I've added a lot of things that would either slow down or take out at least 1 or 2 people so that everyone can focus on other people, because I've seen that the fights were getting harder, and that's just made our fights stay on the same level. Not me specifically, I mean everyone else was getting stronger, but like moving over to being just a full support character, I feel like is going to get a lot harder for me and Abby to deal with, because there's going to be a lot of damage that people are going to be taking, and some of these spells are not high enough to completely heal. Like,
I do have access to heal now.
I do.
You guys are getting into a high enough level now where spellcasters will have Disintegrate, Finger of Death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can also cast Harm. I won't. That's not something my character would do, but
what was it?
You used Blight on me, didn't you?
I did.
I have Blight. Blight's a fun one.
God, that was rude.
But yeah, I mean, going forward, we definitely are expecting to see a little bit more struggle for all of us. It's been a fun season or chapter. I keep calling it that. It's been
Oh yeah, power
that-
word kill. I forgot that was a thing.
I want to use that so bad. That
It's a
sounds so
9th level
fucking
spell.
cool.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and close this out. But yeah, going forward.
Wait! I thought of something. Okay, I looked it up. Almonds are seeds.
Right. So going forward, we will be having a one-shot this coming week. So the weekend following New Year's, and then the weekend following that, we're going to have 2 one-shots, and then start our chapter 2. That way, we're all fully prepared for it. Also gives everyone a chance to chill out and play some characters they might not play or would never think of playing, because that's what a one-shot's for. So go ahead. This is a perfect time for any of you guys watching this to tell your friends, tell your family, jump on and watch our one-shots, because that is a good chance to see us play a game that you do not have to be fully invested in an entire year's worth of play.
Yeah.
So
Over a year.
with that, we will be having a full recap coming out of our entire chapter 1. Me and Jacob are going to start working on that. I've already started working on that a little bit. I know Jacob has an entire notebook of everything. We just need to get together and start getting that filmed out and put on YouTube so that people will know what is happening going forward. As well as that, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for sticking up with us. We have hit a really solid milestone of hitting affiliate this year, as well as getting over that to 71 followers. For us to be streaming once a week with a thing that is very long and hard to watch sometimes. It's really cool to see people enjoying and helping us out. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys hopefully this weekend for our one shot. And have a good night, have a good new year. Hopefully 2021 comes out better than the last.
Yes, please.